This is Miss Ashlyn. So I'm a toddler parent coach who helps first-time parents to parent with clarity. I'm going to teach you 5 ways to teach your toddler to talk. Before your toddler can talk, there are some prerequisites before speech and language can develop. Ready? Number 1. Number 1 is your child has already gone through the blabbering stage. So what is the blabbering stage? Blabbering stage is when your child is blowing bubbles or what we call raspberry bubbles. They're making sounds with their lips, their mouth and their tongue, and they're just making sounds like this. And they're realizing that they can make sounds with their mouths. Another type of blabbering is your child is exploring sound with their voice. So your child might point something and say, oh, 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 or or they will go, oh, 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 oh. So as an adult, you can respond and say, oh, is that what you're saying? Oh, is this what you want? You can lift up something and say, is this what you want? Or is this what you're thinking? That's interesting. As you can see, this is called reciprocal communication, where the infant or toddler is initiating a conversation with the adult and the adult is responding with proper words and sentences. So, number 2, activities. What kind of activities? Fun activities. So, children learn more through playing and moving their bodies. So the more they play and the more they move, they'll be able to reach their developmental milestones for speech and development. So why is that? Because language and motor functions are correlated. So essentially, the more they work with their hands and the more they work with their bodies, their speech will develop even faster. Because the more you exercise your hand muscles, you're also exercising your jaw muscles. So, now we know the different prerequisites that we need for speech and language development. So, what activities can help your child talk? Ready? Here are 5 ways to do it. Let's go! Number 1. Imitation skills. So, what are imitation skills? How do we practice it? Imitation skills are essentially I do and you follow, and I do. So one of the ways you can practice imitation skills is through songs like head, shoulders, knees and toes, head, shoulders, knees and toes, eyes and ears and mouth and nose, head, shoulders, knees and toes. And when you're singing the song, it's best for the adult to do it properly by standing up and demonstrating so that your child can observe and watch you do it. So they are able to make the connections between the song and the words, and that's how they develop and practice their imitation skills. Another song that you can do is Baby shark do 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 do, baby shark do 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 do, baby shark do 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 do, baby shark. Or, if you're happy and you know, you clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, you clap your hands. So these are all the really famous songs that you can practice and it's easy to sing along that you can do it at home. I know it's children's song and it might be a little bit awkward for adults to do it at first, but remember that your child is watching you and they're learning so much from you because you're the role model and they really can't wait to learn from you. And this will also help train their imitation skills. So that's great, right? So another imitation skill that you can practice developing is using a toy. You can play with a toy, or in this case, I'm going to use a scarf. You can put the scarf over your head like that, or over your child's head, and you can go, ooh, what do you see? I see blue, blue. So you can also put a scarf on your head, one scarf and another scarf, 2 scarves, and you can ask your child, I know you can't see me but you can hear me, so you can ask your child, oh, what color do you see? I see blue, I see red. Do you think it makes purple? You can lift it up and down to play like a peekaboo with your child, and I'm sure your child will love it. Another way you can play with your child is taking a scarf and bring it up and down, up and down. You can introduce new vocabulary words like up and down, directional words, up and down. And you can use another scarf that goes left to right, left to right. So there's so many things that you can do with scarves. You can teach about colors, primary colors, or secondary colors. It's all up to you. So it's a really fun prop you can use at home. Number 2, name everything. So for example, you can take a cup. So obviously don't use a porcelain or a glass cup. Use a plastic cup. Okay? So you can say cup. 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 You can point it and say it so that you're able to match your words to the object. You can also put your finger on the rim of the cup and say circle. Circle. If you want, you can also ask your child to repeat after you. Even if they have yet to develop speech, it's a great way to encourage them. So you can say like this. Can you say cup? Cup. That's great. And then you can look around the room, you can look around the house, and you can go table, sofa, television, chair. So you start pointing out real objects so that they'll be able to see, and you also can describe the features, the description of the item or the object to increase their vocabulary. So the more we speak to them, the more the language will develop to them. But remember to speak in positive language so that they are able to receive it emotionally. So you're describing the items in the house using one word because your child is at the stage of absorbing information, and one day, soon enough, when they are ready, they'll burst into a lot of language. So it's very good to keep giving them words so that when the time comes, they'll be able to say it. Number 3, sensory play. You can work with anything. You can work with playdoh, black, sand, or rice, or bead. While using all these materials, you can talk to them by playing with them. So for example, you can take a sensory tray with 2 cups and you can tell them to scoop and pour. You can ask them, can you bring it up so high? Can you pour it so high? So by speaking with them, you are developing more language and also more vocabulary to their speech. And they're able to learn more words through play. And for Play-Doh, you can even make homemade Play-Doh. You can roll it, you can knead it, and you can ask them, ooh, what are you making? Are you rolling it? Can you squeeze it? Can you smash it? Can you poke it? And poke, poke, poke. So all these are the different words and the different ways that you can play with them through Play-Doh. Number 4, blowing bubbles. No, not the blowing raspberry bubbles that we just talked earlier, but it's the bubble wand. So what you can do is you can open it and you can blow it. And your child will love it because it's visual stimulation and it gives your child visual inputs that will help them with eye tracking skills. Also, it gives them cause and effect. Toddlers are so fascinated with this concept of cause and effect. Cause and effect is essentially when I do something and something happens. So what happens is your toddler will approach the bubble, he will burst it, bubble will burst, and they will laugh and giggle because they are feeling this sense of confidence, this sense of competency by creating an action, by doing an action like bursting the bubble. It's a change in the environment. Number 5, developing bilateral coordination skills. So, what is bilateral coordination? Essentially, is where our brains, we have 2 hemispheres. We have the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere. In order for speech to develop, you need to work and coordinate 2 sides of the bodies. So, how do we do that? So, for example, your child can be crawling or climbing up the stairs because it requires left and right coordination. Your child can also be climbing up the ladder at a playground, or you can also play with ball games like you toss a ball and they catch it, and it requires coming to the center, to the midline center. Alright, if you've enjoyed this and you want some direct coaching on how to parent with clarity, you can contact me. I've put the link in the description box below and you can book a call with me. Alright, thank you. See you next time. Bye!